Okay, then. I'm going to take a breather and ask if people have questions on the concept of a buying cycle and how it relates to marketing.
Any questions, everybody? Michael, thank you for pointing out it was not recording for some reason. So I just started recording it and then um I'll see if I have an older version of the recording that I can send out. I'll talk to Al about that.
Well, the recording isn't working, the video isn't working.
I know it's one of those days with Zoom.
Yeah, the only people working are Laura and myself.
I
Whoa,
don't know. It might be a user error over here. It probably is.
who would know?
All right. I don't see any questions.
Okay, it does say it's recording. Thank you very much, Michael. Appreciate that. Uh, so let's move on. So it's important as you think about your marketing to start with the customer. All marketing begins with the customer. Who are you going to sell to? Who are they? What's their demographic? What's their gender? Where are they located? What's their income level? How do they buy? Uh, it's so always start with a customer. And it's important to start with a customer because it's that persona of the customer, that identification of the customer, that demographic of the customer that drives all of your marketing. All marketing needs to be focused on the customer because the last thing the customer cares about in that buying cycle is who you are. They don't care about who you are. It's all about them. It's all about them. So tailor your marketing program to speak directly to that persona, that customer. Know where your fan base hangs out, and then you can optimize that marketing to make sure that you get the most bang for your marketing buck. So start with who is that customer? Let's come back to Al's Bike Shop. Left-handed, female, bicycle riders between the ages of 25 and 45, professional, college educated, own their own home. That's pretty specific. But when that woman hears the marketing message and she's in the market for a bike because she's looking for alternatives, it's like, well, yeah, that's where I should at least give a shot because I want to ride for sport. I want to ride to lose weight. I want to ride uh, for competition. And Al says, I can ride fast. That's good in competition. I can ride for a long time. That's good in competition. I can ride comfortably. Well, of course, and I can ride safely. So that attracts me into now, okay, I want to know how you're going to do it. So you always begin any marketing with that demographic of that customer. So let's talk about how we go about doing this. And the marketing mix is the 4 Ps. It's product, pricing, promotion, and place. So we'll talk about each one of those in turn. So you talk about the product. You want to talk about how it relates again to the customer's needs and wants. Make sure you have a thorough knowledge of how it's going to be used and what the benefits are. So, Al's Bike Shop. I'm pretty sure the younger woman, 25 to 45, is riding for sport, for weight loss, for competition, and we build our marketing message and the benefits to our product around that particular thing. Price is how you set the price, and price is a competitive marketing tool. It's not a financial function. Promoting is getting the message out, and the place is where is that product and service. So each one in turn, we start the product or service. The description you have should include things like what are the unique features? What is the value of that feature to the customer? Remember, nobody buys a thing because they want the thing. They want what that thing is going to do for them. Al's Bike Shop. What's the bike going to do? It's going to help the woman ride fast, safely, high levels of endurance, and comfortably. What are other special benefits that are unique to that customer? What does it do for me, says the customer? You have to answer those questions. Uh, and think about the total product experience. What are you offering to them? Rapid delivery, high quality, low cost? And in the product and service part of the mix, you can only have two of these three. You can't have rapid delivery, high quality, and low cost. You can have rapid delivery, high quality. You can have low cost, rapid delivery, but not so high quality, because quality costs money. So you can only have two of the three. And so as you're speaking to the customer about the product description, in the, how do you do that for me? You're talking about the product. How do we do that? How we meet your need is rapid delivery and high quality, or something else. So your product or service description, which is, remember, that not why they buy, but how they buy, or what they buy, and how you're going to do that. Think about that total product experience and how we meet that need. And again, it's because people buy things. They don't buy things. They buy what things do for them. What does this do for me? So I buy a car because I want to get someplace, or I want to have an image. I go to Starbucks and I buy a coffee that's way overpriced, but I'm buying it not only for the experience, but for the snob appeal of having that coffee cup sit on my desk. So I can make coffee at home pretty doggone cheap, but I go to Starbucks because of other reasons. So I'm not buying the thing because I want the thing. I'm buying the thing or product or service for what it does for me. And even the pros get it wrong. I'm sure you've seen marketing messages that talk all about the thing, how big it is, how fast it is, how good it is, but haven't answered the question, why should I buy it? Or why should I buy it from you? So this is important as we dig into the market message, that as you talk about your product or service, you talk about what does it do for the buyer. Let's talk about pricing. Now, let me stop here and back up a minute. Questions on the product or service part of the marketing plan?
Any questions, anyone? Go ahead and type them in. You can even raise your hand. No questions.
Okay. Let's talk about pricing. It's the second P in the product mix. And as we think about pricing, all market sizes, all markets look like a pyramid. The pricing pyramid, to be specific. What does that look like? That says that as the price goes up, the number of potential customers gets smaller and smaller. So at the lowest possible price, the maximum number of potential customers are there. So pricing is a strategic marketing tool that says, where in this pyramid do I want to play? Think about the car market. Used cars are way cheaper than new cars. And so the number of potential customers are the greatest. And the fact is, in the US, there are more used cars sold every year than all new car sales combined. So if you want to be at this place in the pyramid, you want the lowest possible price. I'm sure you know a couple of retailers that talk about the everyday low price. And it's just it's the place where you want to be strategically. And then because you know your customer, because we just talked about the customer, you know where they want to buy. And that's where you want to sell. So for example, I had three boys growing up. And when I went to buy sneakers for the three boys, I wanted the cheapest sneakers available. So I'd go any place with a sale on sneakers, because with three boys, they'd either tear them up, they'd wear them out because they were growing so fast. Ask my empty refrigerator, it'll prove that. Or they'd lose one. How you lose one sneaker, I have no idea. But what I knew is that if the boys didn't outgrow them, they'd certainly wear them out, tear them up, or lose them. So I bought the cheapest possible sneaker from the discount store of all discount stores. And when we're done, if I could buy one for $18 or $19, we'd throw them away. They're completely worn out. However, when I buy sneakers, I'm looking for cushioning because I want to be easy on my knees, easy on my back, and I want them to last a long time. So I buy sneakers up towards the high end of the pyramid. I pay a lot of money for them, but I haven't bought a pair of sneakers in 20 years because I don't wear them out. I don't outgrow them and I don't lose them. So again, but I'm a very different customer than I am than my boys are. So you want to think in the pyramid of how that works. So let's take two examples just to reinforce the point. Ann and Bob, they're twins. They're in the lawn care business and they think very differently about lawn care. Ann's a little older because she was born first. She thinks about it in very differently than her brother Bob. So this is Ann and Bob's story. Ann has a business called Ann's Concierge Lawn Care Service. Oh, Ann sells her lawn care by the season, from early spring to late fall, cuts your grass, manicures your grass, trims your grass, pulls weeds, edges, blows off your driveway, just makes it look spectacular. And you can probably guess who wants their lawn to look like that. Probably high-end people. And Ann isn't cheap. Bob, on the other hand, he calls his business Bob Cuts. And that's all Bob does. Bob cuts your grass. You got weeds, not his problem. You got grass growing up in your drive, not his problem. You got grass on your drive, not his problem. So his guys show up, lawnmowers come off the truck, cut the grass, back on the truck, they're gone. Ann's people come out, they take care of the lawn. If the customer wants to come out and chat them up about something about their lawn, they'll stop the lawnmowers, they'll get off, they'll chat up the customer. Bob's guys, you want to talk to them, you better walk fast because they're not slowing down to talk to you. Ann's people are in logo polo shirts. Bob's crew, if they even have a shirt, it may or may not be today's tee. It might be yesterday's or the day before's t-shirt. Ann's team is not allowed to smoke on the job. Bob doesn't care. And if they throw the butts in your yard, well, they do that. Very different price points, very different strategic placement. Remember, pricing is a strategic tool. So Ann's priced high. She uses pricing to her advantage. So does Bob. Now, if you looked at their financial statements at the end of the year, what you would find out is they both make about the same amount of money. They both work really hard. But that says wherever you are in the pyramid, if you've got your model right, you can make money. It's just you make it in a different way. Bob makes it through volume. Used cars make it through volume. High-end automobiles, Lamborghinis, BMW, Ferraris, they make it with a high-priced car, but much lower volume. So the question is, where do you want to be in the pyramid? And because the pricing that you have in your pyramid needs to match your business model. So with that thought on pricing, if anybody has questions, I'll stop for a minute, take a breath, take a sip of coffee, and see if we have some questions.
All right, everybody. Any questions, you can type them in the chat or the QA, or you can raise your hand.
Well, we're on a roll. So let's continue on. And if you have questions, feel free to type them at any time. That's not a problem at all. So pricing strategies, to think about that, how do you decide where you want to be? Well, you can look at everybody else and charge what they're charging. So you have a market price. You're the same as everybody else. Or you can want to be at the high end or high low, or you want to penetrate the market, so you low price it. You could be a low leader, you can be a loss leader. Grocery stores are notorious for having special sales on one or two or three products. It's a loss leader. They know they're going to lose money, but they know if you come into the store and grab a cart, you're going to walk out with a lot more than just whatever that one item you came in. Everyday low prices. You can determine price on taking your cost and mark it up. You can bundle it together. So if you buy one, it's $1. If you buy two, it's $1.75. Everybody wins. The customer gets a deal on two. You get to have two items sold. Customer type. You've seen people give veterans discounts. So you may want to do things for veterans or special groups for seniors or whatever that may be. And you may want to run special promotions maybe. So these are all ways. And oh, by the way, we have a whole webinar on pricing and pricing strategies. So if you're interested in doing that, I would recommend that you take our webinar on pricing. Think about that initial price, the cost of materials, service, shipping, profit, and you've got to be competitive. Prices never are stable. They can move. So you don't set it and forget it. You want to look at customer demand and see what's going on, compare your competition, make sure that the customer is getting the value for the price. Always reduce costs before increasing prices. As you probably have personally experienced, you can always look at a price. If it's lower, say that's a good deal. But when they raise the price, you're not happy about that. So when you think about pricing, if you start high, you can always lower the price easily. Customers love that. They think they're getting a deal. But if you try to raise the price, people are not happy about that. If you set your price too low, you might create a price war. And the question is, can you win that one? And most small businesses can't win that one. And especially a new business, that would suffer the most in a price war. So never get into a price war. So third P is promotion. And that's taking the message about your product or service. Make sure that message starts with, how does that meet the customer's needs? Is it quality? Is it price? Is it features? Is it capabilities? What is that? Clearly define those features and benefits in your marketing message. Remember, answer that so what or why should I buy question first. And make sure that question and everything else you do in your market is consistent across all of your marketing materials. So I see your marketing message on Facebook, and then I go to your website. It's different. Say what? Why is it different? That's a different company, different product. What am I missing here? So you always want to be consistent across all of the medias, whatever that may be, whether it's digital or otherwise. You want to be consistent across that. And if your website is your primary place, make sure all of your marketing messages are consistent with what your website says. A lot of places and tools to do that. A lot of places you can go, again, to present your product or service. And there's lots of things you have: your trademark, your company name, stationery, internet, website. All of these on the left-hand side. Whatever you do needs to be very, very consistent with whatever media you're using. However you reach your customer, it has to be consistent across all medias. Make sure that you create a professional image, know your budget. And if you find original material somewhere, graphics or art from the internet, unless it's specifically listed as free, they may be protected under copyright law and require you a license to be a licensee to use it. So don't steal stuff from the internet, especially if your customer has seen that someplace else and realizes that you just stole it. It isn't your best image. But be professional, create a professional image so that it looks good and it's consistent across all of your marketing. So HEI, if you look, the logo is very consistent across all of the marketing. It's consistent in the business cards, handout brochures, letterhead. It's very consistent. So all of your collateral material needs to be consistent about that image and that message. Social media, that today is a way to fit in, but our clients are finding that everybody is on social media, and we are being deluged with social media. It's a free way to connect with customers, but it's crowded. And that's fine if that's what you want to do, but you might want to think about some way to be unique, some way to differentiate yourself. I had one of my clients write a letter handwritten with a real live USPS stamp on it and mailed it to a potential person that she wanted to talk with. And in 24 hours after the letter hit, she got a phone call. So it differentiated her from all the other people that might be just going through social media or websites. And it was very different. And it being different sometimes really is helpful. Customer service is part of this because that's how things get delivered to the customer. They are your most important asset. Can't say it any stronger. Without customers, we're all out of business. And when you think about customers, not all customers are equal. Repeat customers in your business are gold because they come back to you time after time. Marketing for them is free. They keep coming back because they like your product or service. Referral customers are silver because I'm looking for a bicycle and somebody says you ought to go to Al's Bike Shop. I walk into Al's Bike Shop. That customer is yours to lose because somebody else said your product or service was good. So if your phone rings and Mary Lou recommended I call you, you're halfway home because all you need to do is match up that expectation of what your referral said you were going to do. I know sometimes I've looked for a healthcare professional and I ask somebody, well, who do you go to? Well, I go to Dr. Jones. Well, I'll call Dr. Jones. You know, it's pre-sold. If you have a website or a physical location, walk-in customers are copper because they came to you. They came to your store, they came to your website. If they came to you, you've obviously answered the question, why should I come to you? Well, again, they've come to you. You've got a big leg up in convincing them that they should buy. Now, how about phone-in customers? So the first thing on the phone is, how much is your product? Not so much. I'm not sure that's the best way to get a customer because they're clearly shopping. You're not the first person or last person they've called. I'm not sure that's your best customer. And lastly, think about building customer advantage through excellent customer experience. I'm sure we've all had an experience where the service was horrible. And unless that's the only place I can get that product or service, unless it's just, I've got to have it because it's one of a kind, I don't tolerate poor customer service. I don't need to. So I have personally experienced restaurants. Food was absolutely spectacular, but the service was horrible. Couldn't get an order in, order was late, food was great, couldn't find a waitress to fill my coffee or my drink or whatever. It's just, the service was horrible. I'm not going back. I'm sure you've found a favorite restaurant where the food may not be 5-star, but it's good and the service is fantastic. And if you remember the series Cheers, where everybody knows your name, that was all about the experience. All about the experience. So the crew came back time and time and time to Cheers because everybody knew their name. It was the experience. I feel home, like I'm home. So what can you do to enhance that customer experience? Lost customers. Scored a survey a while back, and they did 1,000. They talked to 1,000 customers, by the way. But out of 100 customers, 64 of them were lost because of indifference of the person or the staff. They came in, they weren't happy, something was wrong, or they wanted to buy something and couldn't get the attention, and they walked out. I would bet every one of you has walked out of a store or walked away from a website because you couldn't get what you needed done. I know I've tried to order lunch on a website. It's horrible. I couldn't get past it. And so I just walked away. And I will never go back to that website. I may never go to that store again. 24 of them were totally lost because of unadjusted complaints. They had something went wrong. It was late on delivery. The food came out of the restaurant, out of the kitchen cold. Something was wrong. And nobody cared. It was unadjusted. So please do not let any of your customers be part of these statistics that you or your staff just doesn't care and they've got an issue and you don't resolve it. Now, what happened to the other 8%? They moved, went elsewhere, passed away, who knows? They were gone. So the bottom line is 92% of lost customers were salvageable. Customers are gold. So if you can prevent a customer from leaving you and turn them into a repeat customer because you attend to their needs, they have a great experience, they have a complaint, and you fix it. Complaints, by the way, are a great way of getting feedback on your service or your product. Let them tell you what's wrong. Then you can fix it. If you can fix it, then you save other customers rather than making the same mistake over and over again and losing customers. You now have a chance to fix it. So I view complaints as good news. I now have found something that I can fix. Why is customer service so important? Today, there is so many options for me to buy whatever. And after a while, the products or the service start to look pretty much the same. Whatever they are, they start to look the same. And so customer service, the customer experience should be part of your total marketing program. Figure out what makes your offer special. How can I serve this customer in a special way? Service is a critical tool, marketing tool in disguise. It's just hiding behind you or your staff. Customer service is a critical marketing tool, just like pricing. It's a strategic marketing tool. So in today's highly competitive marketplace, it's all about the experience. And there's some thinkers that would believe that we are moving towards an experience-based economy. So the product or the service that you're providing is table stakes. That gets you into the game. But the experience is what keeps you in the game. If you don't believe that people will pay for an experience, a lift ticket at the Vail, Colorado ski resort for one day on a Monday, which is the slow day, is $300. So what do I get for my $300? Well, I get to ride the lift. I get to ski down the mountain. I don't take anything home with me, though. There is no product or thing that I take with me. When I have to be off the lift at 4:30 in the afternoon, I have nothing. I have nothing with me. So it's all about that experience of skiing in the mountains, riding up, blue sunshine, blue sky day, white snow, and loving the experience. Think about Disney World. Same thing. People pay a ton of money for Disney World. And again, they walk out of Disney World with nothing that they didn't pay for. So the ticket gets you in the door, gives you the experience with you, your family, your children. And it's all about the experience. And Disney is the master of making sure that experience for you is the best it could possibly be. And that's the whole customer experience in customer service. That's what it's all about. If you've got employees, their attitude and their proficiency is critical in greeting the customer, making the customer feel important, servicing the customer with knowledge, being courteous, following up, solve problems, listen to their complaints, fix it. And that applies to you if you're the sole practitioner, the only person working your business, or if you have anybody helping you, that applies there too. 10 commandments of good business, if you'll notice, they all start with the customer. So everything we do in marketing or in business revolves around the customer. I'm not going to read those to you because you're going to get a copy of this presentation this afternoon, so I don't need to read it to you. But the important message is good business starts with the customer. So today's marketplace is competitive. It's more competitive than any time in history because the internet makes us be able to find more products than we could ever find by driving around in our car. So it's competition is just greater than ever. The need for professionalism and service on part of yourself and your employees is critical because I can buy this thing anywhere. I can buy tires anywhere. I can buy a bike anywhere. I can buy a car anywhere. I can go to a restaurant, eat food anywhere. So it's all about the service I get. First impression is important. Today's customers are more mobile than in the past. Now, with the internet, I can shop anywhere. Just ask Alibaba, the Chinese retailer. They have customers from all over the world. You could never do that at a brick and mortar store. So customers are much more mobile. And what you're trying to do is respecting your customers so that they have loyalty to you, and you create repeat customers, and repeat customers are gold. So good customer relations and service, all about excellence. In that, keep the communications lines open, follow up, be constantly visual on your customers. Watch, make sure you're treating your customers because that is the future of your business or the last of your business. Thank you for attending. If you'd like a mentor, please make an appointment with one of our counselors, and you do that through SCORE, and I'll give you the contact information in 1 second. So we wish you every success. And we're done. That's where we're located. If you want to come see us, make an appointment. If you want to call us on the phone, if you want to do something on the website, if you want to get a mentor, you can do it either through score.org or akronscore.org. You want to take a webinar, akronscore.org, or some of the national webinars are at score.org. So with that thought, I am done at 45 minutes as promised. If you have questions, Laura and I will hang around to answer questions. And if not, if you've got enough, then you're free to go. Early release program. As Laura said, she will send out the slides, and the best recording we've got, we'll send that out to you this afternoon sometime, along with links for future webinars that may be of interest to you. So here we are.
Okay, so Carolyn has a question she's asking, and I can probably answer this. It's so hard to be different on social media. What's a strategy for being different? So Carolyn, we have actually this Friday, there's going to be an Instagram webinar with Heather Taylor, and she specializes in social media and advertising and marketing. So I would recommend that you sign up for that. It's this Friday. Every month she does different things that kind of go through Facebook, Google, Instagram. So I think that would be really valuable for you. And then we have, go ahead.
I would agree with that. The question of how to be different is to look really hard at your product or service and look at it from the customer standpoint and ask yourself, what makes me different? Or what could I do that would make me different? Is that price? Is that delivery? Is that quality product? Is that features? Is that functionality? What makes me different? And if you'd like to talk to a SCORE advisor about that, score.org, sign up to get a mentor. Sorry, Laura.
No, you're fine. And then Joe would like to, he has his hand raised, so I'm going to unmute you, Joe. Go ahead.
Joe, you're going to have to unmute yourself, or Laura's going to have to unmute you.
I did my side, so go ahead, Joe.
He's still muted, by the way.
Yeah. Any other questions, anybody?
Maybe Joe just raised his hand. Okay, I'm waving back to you, Joe. You can't see me, but I'm waving back.
Yeah, for some. All right, let's see. Any other questions, anybody?
Well, Carolyn, you're welcome. This
All
is
right.
really the introduction, the 101. If you really want to customize it to your business, get a score advisor so they can really bore in and help you personally with your business because it's all about you. Again, we think about the customer, which is you, our client, which is you, and this is all about you. Your business needs to be successful. Your business needs to grow. You need to feel good about it. You need to be meeting whatever objectives you have for your business. And that's where we're here to help you. It's all about you.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us today. Again, you'll get the recording as well as the slides later today. So have a good day, Al. Have a good day.
Thank you so much.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye bye.